In this section, you will learn about setting up the manometry equipment. Before turning on the computer and the transceivers, plug in the wire to an appropriate power socket. The power LED on the transceivers should be green continuously. The CPU and the transceivers each have their own power switch. You can switch these on using these switches. After turning on the transceivers, wait for the computer to go to the start screen. Get the manometry probes from storage or cleaning and ensure that it's dry by wiping with a clean towel. When connecting the probes to the correct transceivers, remember that the blue and red connectors are not interchangeable. Also, ensure that the red dot in each connector is oriented to the 12 o'clock position. Connecting the probes to the transceivers does not require force. Connect the impedance channel, that is the green connector, to the transceiver if using an impedance manometry probe.
An impedance and manometry catheter has three connectors. The green connector is for impedance, while red and blue connectors are for pressure measurement. Orientate each connector using the red dot at 12 o'clock position. Follow the color code to connect the appropriate connector. Connecting this does not require force.
Data recording and data analysis are done by two different software. To record the study, click on the ManoScan acquisition icon. To analyze the data, click on the ManoView ISO icon. Before you can begin the recording, you must select the correct probe. There are two types of manometry probes. You can have a high-resolution oesophageal manometry probe or a high-resolution probe with impedance. If a probe with impedance measurement is connected, you have the option of performing the study with or without impedance measurement. To record impedance, please select Yes in the pop-up dialog. Before patient measurements can begin, the probe must be calibrated. Once the software has been running for more than a minute, calibration can begin. To insert the probe into the calibration chamber, first loosen the screw lid by turning it counterclockwise. Insert the catheter into the calibration chamber until the marking indicated as Cal lies at the level of the screw lid. To tighten the lid, turn it clockwise. Be cautious not to over-tighten the lid, as this may damage the electronics within the probe. Before calibrating the esophageal probe, the 3D anorectal calibration chamber must be closed. First, loosen the screw lid by turning it counterclockwise. Then, insert the obturator as far as it will go into the chamber. Then, tighten the screw lid by turning it clockwise to achieve an airtight seal. You can start the calibration procedure by clicking the Start button.
Before using the 360-degree probe chamber for calibration, you must close the 3D probe chamber by using the obturator provided.
When entering the patient details, note that all the text boxes highlighted in blue are mandatory fields. Any text box with a drop-down menu will allow previous entries to be retrieved by selecting them from the list. Once all the data has been entered, click OK. If the patient is expected to come for multiple measurements, you can save all the patient details using the Save button. In the subsequent procedures, you can retrieve the data by clicking the Load button. Click Next when completed. After clicking on the Calibration button, you will be taken to the Calibration menu. There are 3 types of calibration that can be done. Pressure calibration should be done prior to each measurement. Thermal calibration, also known as calibration in vivo, has to be done every 14 days or as the system indicates. Tuning the system has to be done when a new probe is installed or if there are regular errors in the measurement.
To calibrate the esophageal manometry probe, first loosen the screw lid by turning it counterclockwise. Insert the catheter into the chamber until the mark indicated as Cal is at the level of the screw lid. Press the Calibrate button to enter the menu, then zero the channels and begin the pressure calibration. You will see that the pressure measured by the catheter will increase. Once the calibration is complete, the OK button will be enabled.
To perform the pressure calibration, insert the probe to the appropriate chamber as indicated above. You also need to close the other calibration chamber. You may notice that the pressures measured by the probe are incorrect. First, zero the channels by clicking the Zero Channels button. Then, click the Start button. You should hear the pressure pump working and see the pressure measured by the probe change. Once the calibration is complete, the bottom left button will change to OK. Click this OK button and then remove the catheter from the calibration chamber. A thermal calibration is performed to increase the accuracy of measurements. The temperature can affect the measurements of solid-state sensors. Although the probe is calibrated at room temperature, the sensors reach body temperature when inserted into the body. The measured values may therefore slightly differ. A thermal calibration is performed to overcome this. To perform a thermal calibration, first pressure calibrate the probe as described above. Then mix cold and warm water in the container provided to achieve a water temperature between 36 and 38 degrees Celsius. Then open the calibration menu in the software. Zero the channels, ensuring that none of the sensors are in contact with an object. Completely immerse the probe in water. Ensure that the probe will not move during the procedure. Press the thermal calibration button. You will see the progress bar. Once it completes, the Finish button will be enabled. Press the Finish button and then press the OK button. high-resolution manometry catheters can be used with sheaths. Manometry with impedance requires the impedance sensors to be in contact with the esophageal mucosa. A sheath, therefore, cannot be used in this procedure. High-resolution manometry without impedance can be performed with a probe covered in a sheath. Take a pack containing the sheath and empty the contents onto the manometry station worktop. This should include the following: the sheath, a sachet of talc powder, and wet wipes. Wipe the probe using the wet wipe provided. Then allow the probe to air dry. Apply talc powder using the sponge provided. Then shake off the excess powder gently. Insert the probe into the sheath. Ensure the tip reaches the end of the sheath, and then fold the tip of the sheath and paste it onto the sheath using the adhesive patch on the sheath. This patch is indicated by the blue color. To secure the sheath, wrap the rubber strap once around the probe and secure it into the retainer on the blue cylinder of the sheath.